Hey everyone, today I'm going to be sharing some of my favorite premium travel accessories. As I showed in the recent video that I published where I talked about some of my favorite travel gear that comes in at $50 or less, you really don't have to spend a ton of money on gear that will get you through your trip. However, if you travel a lot and you have the budget, it can be nice to splurge on certain things that are going to give you a little bit more peace of mind or comfort, or if they just happen to be a style that you really enjoy. And so these are the items that I would say are not must-have, but that I've really enjoyed using on many of my recent trips. So excited to dive in. Before doing so, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Danny, and on this channel, we love reviewing popular travel and everyday carry gear. If you like these types of videos and you'd be interested in seeing more, please consider subscribing as it helps the channel out a lot. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump in. Whether you're looking for a bag that can work as a personal item on international flights or that can even work as a minimal travel bag all on its own, one of the most versatile options is the Evergoods CTB20. I've always been a fan of the CTB26, and last year when the CTB20 was announced, I was very excited to have that same layout in a more daily carry friendly size. And it's been fantastic to use this over the past few months. The smaller size did not impact the functionality at all. You still, of course, have Evergoods' typical minimal aesthetic that's just going to work well across a number of environments. Really nice materials here, the 420D HT9 line, which I've always had great experience with. YKK zippers, you have a couple of handles, one at the top, one at the side. Still have the dual external water bottle pockets, which is always helpful. And then the 20-liter capacity is deceptively spacious. This doesn't look like a huge bag, and one of the biggest benefits is the height. It's a little bit shorter, which is what helps it meet some of the requirements on international airlines, but it can still hold a good amount. And so it offers a nice balance. You still have Evergoods' typical harness system, which I'm a fan of, so good padding on the straps, breathable back panel, good padding there. You have the contouring shoulder straps. You have the luggage pass-through, which is what makes it great if you want to pair it with a roller bag. And then you have the layout, which is one of the most functional of any bag. You have the quick access pocket on the front with plenty of volume for something like an Evergoods Civic Access Pouch 1/2 liter. This is one of my favorite pockets across any bags. Then you have the top quick access pocket, which is where I typically have my sunglasses, my AirPods. You have the dedicated laptop compartment that is padded, suspended. It works well with the luggage pass-through. You have the front quick access pocket with some internal organization. Everything has its own dedicated volume. And then the clamshell style opening, which is going to be able to handle packing cube. Here I have my typical minimal travel setup with dock kit, extra pair of shoes, and a larger compressible packing cube. All of that fit in there comfortably without the bag feeling like it's stuffed. You have the slip pocket on the back and then a couple of zippered mesh pockets on the lid if you want to separate your stuff. So this is a layout that I've talked about a bunch on the channel. And if you're looking to invest in a reliable kind of carry-on friendly size, this is definitely going to be one of the first options I would recommend. A good jacket will always be one of my favorite travel accessories, and although I really love jackets like the Flint & Tinder Wax Trucker and the Patagonia Nano Puff, there's still something that's really tough to beat about the comfort of a hoodie. And that's what really caught my eye about the Triple Aught Design Ranger hoodie. This seemed to offer all the things that I love about the hoodies that I've used in the past, but with the added functionality that Triple Aught Design brings to their bag. So just a really cool design here. It's offered in a couple of different colors. I have the coyote brown. I really love the fleece material that's used here. This is going to offer plenty of warmth, whether you're using it as an outer layer. You can use it to actually layer with a larger jacket. But the way that this material is knit makes it more wind resistant than the other hoodies that I've used in the past, which is a really great benefit. That's usually one of the reasons that I travel with a puffy jacket, because it also provides that wind resistance. And this doesn't get quite to that level, but it still does a great job. And then you have DWR treatment on here to give you some protection if you happen to get caught in a quick downpour. As far as the fit, I ordered a medium and it feels pretty true to size, so I think that it looks great. And then on this version of the hoodie, you have this little Velcro area that you can use to customize with a variety of Ranger patches. I actually have the Triple Aught Design logo here, but you can take that off. And then you have, really great zipper that you can open from the top or the bottom, so you have some flexibility as far as accessing your pockets or zipping it all the way up. You have the little protector here so that it's not rubbing up against your chin. And then the way that the hood is implemented is fantastic. I really love how well it covers my head, my ears. It's got a little brim here, and so this is, you know, fantastic to use. It has helped just give me that extra bit of comfort and protection as I've been out in the elements. And then one of my favorite things about this jacket, and something that I look for in any jacket that I'm going to be traveling with, is the pocketing. And here you have, you know, your two standard sort of zippered pockets on the front. They're a little bit higher than many of the hoodies that I've used, so they almost felt more like a pea coat. So that was interesting, but you have plenty of space in these pockets, which is, you know, great just for putting your hands on the inside, but you also have some added functionality. You have internal pocketing where, you know, you can store something like a multi-tool. I actually have a Leatherman here that's slid in there very comfortably. You have a place to attach a carabiner with some keys, little loop there. And then on the other side, same layout as far as having the internal space for a tool, a media pass-through. You have another loop here, so great to have sort of the ambidextrous organization. On the sleeves, you start to see some extra sort of functionality. You have the two bicep zippered pockets, which is great for something like your sunglasses. When I'm wearing a jacket and I don't have my case, it's super nice to be able to just put this into a pocket right here that I can reach easily. And then on the other side, I currently have a USB-C cable and a portable battery. And on the bottom of the sleeve, you have one extra pocket on the left-hand side. That is a perfect spot for my AirPods, but you know, enough space there for something else that you want to be able to reach very quickly. And on the sleeves, you also have the ability to, you know, kind of put your thumbs through these loops, and then this will help keep your hands a little bit warmer. So great to have that feature as well. And then on the back of the hoodie, you have what they call a hunter's pocket, which is dual access. And so on the company site, you can see some of the images of this being used to store maybe a pair of gloves. I actually love that it works perfectly for my iPad. So if I'm, you know, just going onto a flight and I want to be able to access it easily or just store it while I'm getting onto the airplane and getting seated, then this is actually plenty of space to put it in there, grab it from either direction. And so just a nice kind of added bonus to have that on the back. Opening it up, again, you have the zipper from either direction. You can open it all the way, and then on the inside you can see that it's got the ability to be pulled tighter to help maintain that heat inside of the jacket. And you know, pretty standard layout on the inside, no added organization here. It's mostly on the outside, which I think works pretty well. And so in general, this has been a great experience so far. Super comfortable, offers plenty of warmth. The organization is tough to beat. And if you're looking for a, you know, awesome functional hoodie, then this is gonna be one of the best options that you can take a look at. The Recon is Triple Aught Design's take on the cargo pant, and they're also meant to wear a little bit like a khaki. Now, I have to admit that it's been a while since I've used cargo pants. These definitely feel much more modern than the ones that I wore back in the day, and I think that they look pretty good. They have a very functional vibe. This is something that I would be comfortable using more in kind of an outdoor setting for travel, something adventurous. Maybe not quite as much in an urban setting if I wanted to kind of go to dinner or something like that. These aren't the pants that I would wear to the office either, but I think that they work well for their intended use case. They're offered in a couple of different colors. I have the Raven color here, which feels kind of like a, you know, gray blackish color, which I'm generally a fan of. And as far as the fit, this is definitely a wider pant than I'm used to wearing. I use a lot of slim fit pants. That's just the style that I've been using for a while now, and so it took a little bit of an adjustment to get used to wearing something quite like this, which is just bulkier, looser, but that also felt quite comfortable, and you know, is going to give you a lot of flexibility with the type of shoes that you can wear. I was able to wear these comfortably with my boots. I didn't feel the cuffs, you know, really tight around my legs, but you know, it's just a style that was different than what I typically wear. And the fit is true to size. I normally wear a size 34. That's what I ordered here, and I found that they were great. And the material that's used here is the Recon twill, which is meant to mimic sort of the feel of cotton, but provide the durability of a Cordura nylon. And I think that it does that very well. This doesn't feel too much different from many of the other sort of popular travel pants that I've talked about on the channel. and so it feels durable, it's comfortable, fairly lightweight. It does have a little bit of stretch. It's been incorporated with elastane, so you do have some good range of motion. You have the gusset here that will allow you to move around comfortably, knee darts to provide articulation. So, really checking off a lot of those boxes as far as sort of a more versatile, functional pant. And then the last thing I'll mention as far as the materials is that these do have a DWR coating to give you a little bit of protection from the elements. Then you have a nice zipper here, YKK, so it works very reliably, smoothly, really great button here. And then you have belt loops that are wide enough to handle a variety of different types of belts. And then moving into the pocketing, this is really where the pant excelled for me, was just the added functionality of having something like a cargo with the touches that Triple Aught Design added, to the different areas of the pant. And so, you have your standard front pockets that are actually quite deep. I was impressed with how much space these offer. I was able to, fit my hands in there comfortably. If I was wearing gloves, I think this would be a bonus. And you have pockets on the inside here, on each side, that also offer a good amount of space. Definitely big enough to hold something like a phone. This is a bigger battery bank that was able to slide in here comfortably. You can see there's still some leftover space, so if you have one of the larger phones, it should be able to work quite well. And you have one of those again on each side. And then I like that the pockets are reinforced to be able to handle a variety of pocket clips on multi-tools and pocket knives, like this Spyderco knife that I have here. This has a pretty intense pocket clip, and so pulling it in and out of a pocket over a longer time, I can definitely start to see some wear when I'm using my jeans. So great to see that there. And then you have, of course, the cargo pant aspect of the pants, which is one of the more unique pieces. And these do have a little bit of a gusset, so they're not fully flat, which is great to give you some flexibility with what you can actually store in here. And since I'm not really used to wearing cargo pants anymore, it was definitely interesting to see what types of items I might want to hold in these types of pockets. And so I was able to fit the same battery bank that I showed earlier. It fits comfortably. You have the zipper here to ensure nothing falls out, YKK again. But this would be able to accommodate something a little bit bulkier. Here's a tourniquet, which also seemed like maybe the type of thing that you might use in a pocket like this. So kind of expanded out to accommodate for that, which was really nice. You have one on each side. Could also use it to store something like, a charging cable if I wanted to, other power block, a larger flashlight, multi-tools. And so, it's just some great added flexibility, particularly if maybe you're not going to be carrying a backpack or a sling bag or something like that. I could see myself storing my sunglasses or some of the things that I just normally would need to place in something other than my pockets. So great to have each of those there. And then of course you have some pretty standard pockets on the back, pretty decent amount of space for, if you want to carry your wallet in the back, you want to put your phone back there, anything like that. And so, overall, it's been great to have a chance to experiment with a more functional pant like this one, which, felt very freeing as far as being wider and more spacious than some of the slim fit pants. And, it just worked well as I wore it in a couple of different places. I felt like it adapted nicely to the climate, especially living in a hotter place. It didn't feel overly hot. I was able to kind of go on a hike, make sure to test out the way that it moved with me, and in general it felt great, feels very durable. And if I was going to pick a cargo pant that looked a little bit different than many of the ones that I've used in the past, something that was just going to give me a little bit of extra organization for a trip, or if I was going to be in the outdoors, then this is really an excellent option to keep in mind. A good pair of noise-canceling headphones can be indispensable on a longer flight. This is definitely one of the more popular premium travel items, and there's some really great options on the market from companies like Sony. There's the Apple AirPods Max. Here I have the two options that I use most regularly. I have the Apple AirPods Pro, which fit in my pocket. These are the ones I take when I'm traveling very minimally, just one small backpack, and I don't want to have to deal with a larger pair of headphones. They do a great job, particularly for their size, of canceling out as much noise as you can expect from a small pair of earbuds. And then they have the charging case, which keeps them charged for a longer period of time than they can go on their own. They charge quickly. With the later editions, you now have USB-C charging, which I was really excited to finally have as part of the AirPods ecosystem. The AirPods Max I believe, don't have USB-C yet, or at least the ones that I have use Lightning, so that sort of makes me not want to use them quite as much. But you know, I've been using AirPods for a while. They do a good job. And then for the trips where I need something that's gonna provide some extra noise cancellation, or if I'm gonna be working a lot and I want something comfortable that's just gonna give me some better sound, I like the Beats Studio wireless headphones. Now I know audiophiles may not be crazy about Beats headphones, but I've used these for a number of years now, and I always come back to them because they're the ones that work best for me as far as noise cancellation. I can actually tend to get a little bit dizzy from some of the noise cancellation on Bose and Sony headphones. I don't know why that is, but I don't have that with the Beats headphones. And I just think that they look very cool, and I like the bass heavy sound that they offer. So this is one of the newer additions. They include a carrying case, which is great. It has a little handle and, you know, doesn't take up a ton of space. They're a little bit bulkier than some of the flat headphones, but not overwhelmingly so. And then, you know, they fold up. So you do have the ability to make them more compact. They're very comfortable, and they work well within the Apple ecosystem, so you can switch between devices. The Bluetooth connectivity has worked very consistently. They work great for taking phone calls, the microphone that they offer, and you know, I can wear these for a longer period of time. I don't feel any sort of fatigue. They also have USB-C, which is kind of a must-have for me nowadays. And the battery life on these is good. And they also include an auxiliary cable, which I think many of the premium options include. So for flights and things like that, that's still gonna be really helpful to have that option. And so the point of this section of the video is not necessarily to advocate for any particular set of noise canceling headphones, but more to emphasize the point that this is one of those items that I'm definitely happy to invest a little bit more in. These XREAL AR glasses are a newer category for me, and definitely not something I would classify as must-have, but it seemed like a really interesting solution, particularly for travel. So these are meant to create kind of a projected screen for whatever you plug them into. And so I really like the compact form factor that they have. They come in this hard shell protective case, and you can easily tuck this away into any sort of bag that you might be traveling with. I could even fit this into one of my jacket pockets. And so it's got a zipper that allows it to open up, and then you have what looks almost like a regular pair of sunglasses. Now you can see that there is definitely some additional stuff happening with these, but I like that they're not as obtrusive as something like an Oculus or the Apple Vision Pro. So they're not gonna take up a ton of space. They don't feel as awkward to wear in public. And they honestly accomplish what I would think would be my primary use case for this type of item, which is allowing me to watch Netflix and Amazon Prime and all my streaming services on a larger space than my phone, and in a more comfortable way than even my tablet can provide. And so inside of the case, I have the USB-C cable that you plug into one end of the glasses, and then the other end plugs directly into your phone or your laptop, whatever device that is USB-C compatible. And then you have a screen that performs impressively well. That was one of the things that most stood out to me about this, was the fact that I could plug it in versus having to rely on some sort of Bluetooth or wireless connection, which means that it performs well when streaming video. There's not really any lag or any of the things that I would have expected to experience or that I've seen with other similar applications. I've tried to mirror screens in the past with my iPad and other sort of wireless monitors, and the performance can be inconsistent, but so far with these, it's actually worked out quite well. And so maybe a little tough to represent what it actually looks like when this is appearing, but what I really like is it was dead simple. You plug it in, your screen pops up in front of you, and then you can navigate your phone as you typically would. And I will go to one of the videos that I want to watch, YouTube or Netflix, and then my favorite thing is that once you put it into landscape mode, you look up and then you have a pretty high definition screen in front of you. So it's been a pretty interesting sort of learning experience as far as finding the angles and the surfaces where this works best. The screen in front of you looks a little bit transparent, so you can see your surroundings, but then you'll be able to see whatever content you're trying to watch. I've actually found that this works really well when I'm laying down on the couch or in bed. I'm looking up at my ceiling. I can just watch something without having to strain my neck in any way. And for flights, this definitely feels like something that's gonna be very useful. I tend to struggle because I download a lot of stuff on my phone. I like to watch, even though I watch the airplane videos, I watch on my phone as well. I'm looking down, my neck hurts, and so having something like this is just gonna give me more real estate and allow me to, position myself more comfortably. I'm hands-free. I like that this also has sound. So there's some speakers near the ends close to your ears so you can actually hear your content while it's playing if you're not using any sort of wireless headset. I can't plug in my wired headphones because I'm using the USB-C. I believe that they might have some dongles that will allow you to continue to plug in a couple of things into your phone. I haven't experimented with those as much, but just with the sound itself, the video that's coming out, the glasses themselves feel pretty comfortable. They're not overly heavy. They, rest as you would expect any other pair of sunglasses to do so. They close pretty compactly. The build quality on these is something that I'll be keeping a close eye on as I use them more and open and close them and pack them out. They feel pretty sturdy, but that's the only concern that I would have, especially given that this is a little bit more of an expensive item, and so just want to ensure that it's something that's long lasting. But very, very cool as far as sort of a newer technology that's just starting to come around. I believe there's even newer versions than the one that I have here. I bought this previous edition to save a little bit of money, but there's gonna be extra settings that you can have. There's apps to configure this to do more than what I'm probably gonna use it for. So even if you're looking for something simple to just give yourself a way to watch your movies and your shows on a bigger screen, I feel like it already sort of is worth the investment if you like to consume a lot of content as I do, and then there'll just be much more room to learn and grow as this space continues to evolve. Regardless of where I'm traveling, I always like to have some sort of multi-port solution so that I can charge a lot of devices without having to carry a lot of charging blocks. So these are two items that you've probably seen in many of my other videos. I come back to them time and again because they work great. And there's a lot of different brands and options on the market with a variety of power outputs and port configurations. So these are just the two options that I've kind of gotten comfortable with. But the bigger point for me is just that this is a super helpful solution when you're traveling, whether it's alone or with family members, for when you arrive at your hotel room, having something where you can just plug a couple of different things in. Some areas don't have a lot of plugs. If you're at a coffee shop, sometimes you're also struggling, to kind of find plugs to share. And so these are things that are always just great to have. So here I have an option from Anker that's a little bit more compact. This is the one that I use when I'm traveling more minimally. And so I absolutely love the tiny footprint that this has. It has the collapsible prongs, and it is almost the size of my AirPods. And it can still charge my MacBook, it can charge an iPad, it can charge a phone. You have two USB-C ports and then a regular USB port, which covers most of the things that I would need to charge on the majority of my trips. And then I also have this larger option, which is probably the one that I use more in my EDC bag, my work bag, but for trips when I'm traveling with two bags or I have a little bit more space, I also really like this one because it has the extension cable, so it just gives me a little bit more distance than this smaller version provides. And then it also has, an extra port here, two USB-Cs, two USB-As. I know that there's probably newer versions of this. I've had this for a while that have extra ports or maybe more USB-C ports as it's more modern. But you can see you can take the cable off and then it really doesn't take up that much space. It can get a little bit heavier, and that's why it's great to have the various options. But when you're traveling, if you're trying to manage a bunch of different devices without that many outlets, then these are gonna be awesome to have. When you're traveling with just one larger travel backpack, it can be really helpful to have a packable solution for when you arrive at your destination so that you have something smaller that you can carry around with your essentials on your day-to-day. And there are definitely some budget-friendly options in this category, but I've found that investing a little bit more in a packable backpack pays off. As far as comfort, durability, and peace of mind, one of the best options that I've used as of late is the Bellroy Lite Ready Pack. This is a really cool option that has a similar style to some of the other bags in Bellroy's newer lineups, which I featured towards the end of last year, which I absolutely love. So very minimal, just a really versatile appearance. It feels a little bit rugged. It's got some webbing, but not overwhelmingly technical. You have a little loop on the front. That's gonna be a good spot for attaching a bike light, the subtle Bellroy branding, really nice build quality as far as the recycled sort of nylons that Bellroy uses, well protected zippers on the compartments. I really love the zipper pulls. And then this comes in at about 18 liters. So it's a good daily bag size, particularly on the packable front because of the structure and layout of these bags. They're simpler, so they're able to hold a good amount in something that doesn't look quite as big. So, you know, just a really great capacity here, very slim profile. And then you do have an external water bottle pocket, which is nice to see. Carrying handle at the top. And then the harness system on this does a great job, particularly for a packable backpack. This is where many of these types of bags tend to struggle, but here you have an impressive amount of cushioning and breathability on the straps. And, you know, without adding a ton of bulk and weight, you still have a sternum strap that's adjustable. You have a good bit of padding and breathability on the back panel as well. This is one of the more comfortable back panels that I've seen on a packable style bag, one of these lightweight bags. So great to see that there. And then the layout is pretty simple. You have an awesome quick access pocket at the top. Bellroy has been doing these so well in their newer releases. Just offers a ton of flexibility and space that can store bulkier items comfortably. I have a GoPro in here, packable blanket from Matador. I have a bulkier USB-C cable. This will be a great spot for something like your sunglasses. I have one of my bulkier sunglasses case there. Fits with no problem. And then on the inside, you do have a little bit of internal organization, a couple of slip pockets here, and then you have a little lanyard with a clip for your keys. And then you have the main compartment. This is a top loading bag, but the zipper goes down a good amount, so you still have visibility to the inside. And here I have some of the items that I might have on my day-to-day once I arrive at my destination. My DJI Mavic Mini with its hard shell case. I also have a packable rain jacket, and then I tossed in a few pouches. Here I have a Peak Design packing cube, and then the Evergoods Civic Access pouch, 2 liters, just to kind of showcase how much can be held here. You can see pretty open layout. You can even toss in a packing cube if we wanted a super ultra light minimal travel bag on the back. You can see some of the padding. You have a little loop at the top, and then you have a simple slip pocket on the back. This doesn't have any padding, but it's still nice to have kind of a separate area in the compartment to just make it easier to find certain items. At the moment, I just have my iPad mini in here, and so very simple layout. And now with it empty, you can see how flat this actually manages to get. This is normally how I place one of these bags inside a larger travel backpack. One of Bellroy's travel bags or something like the Aer Travel Pack 3. I just place it right on top, but because of the structure of this bag, you can also roll it up if that, you know, makes a little bit more sense with the way that you're packing your stuff. So really like the flexibility that it offers, the durability, very impressive comfort, and if you're looking for a more premium packable backpack, this is gonna be one of the best options to consider. Shoes are another category where I've started to invest a little bit more over the past couple of years, as they are one of the most critical items that I have with me on my trip, and they're also one of the items that I try to minimize as far as the amount that I travel with. And so I need something that's gonna be reliable and work well across a variety of different situations. I actually did a whole video talking about my favorite travel shoes, which I'll link to in the description below. One pair of shoes that's made its way into a couple of videos recently are the Roger shoes from On. These have been absolutely fantastic because they take the classic, you know, tennis shoe style that I've loved on, you know, classics like the Stan Smith, but they add the comfort that On is so well known for. So it's a very just simple, minimal silhouette that I think looks great with a bunch of different outfits, long pants, short pants, casual, and, you know, then it brings the Cloud Tech technology, which has actually felt great as I've worn these for hours at a time. I took a pair of these to Japan, you know, and just walked around all sorts of different places all day. At night, I would go out. I actually went dancing in these shoes as well, and they just continued to hold up no matter what I threw at them while still looking great. You know, really nice materials as far as how they feel, how they look, very comfortable to slip my feet in and out. On the inside, the insole has been fantastic. The sizing on these also works well for me. They're true to size. I wear an 11.5. That's what I bought here. And, you know, they have pretty good traction. So really just continue to use these over a number of trips. I'm sure that once I fully beat these up and they're no longer usable, I'll likely buy another pair. And so if you're looking for kind of a classic all-white sneaker style shoe that's gonna give you some extra comfort, then these are gonna be fantastic to take a look at. A dedicated travel wallet is another item that I wouldn't say is a must-have. It definitely makes things easier when you're at the airport and in transit. In the recent video that I did for my favorite accessories that come in at $50 or less, I shared a TomTalk option that is very budget friendly and is gonna be excellent, particularly if you're traveling with multiple people and there's extra stuff to take care of. But if you're looking for something that just looks and feels a little bit more sophisticated, a little nicer, that's gonna, pair nicely with a suit. If you're somebody who does a lot of business travel and you want, a great sleek travel wallet to be able to pull out, you really can't do much better than Bellroy's travel wallet. Bellroy in general makes some of my favorite wallets. I've featured a bunch of them in videos over the years. You have the really just premium feeling leather. They look great. I really like that this has the appearance of just a bifold wallet, something that you can still tuck into a pocket. It is a little bit larger to accommodate the size of a passport, but it looks great. It's offered in a couple of different colors. When you open it up, you have the dedicated sleeve for your passport, so you can easily reach it when you need to. You have a couple of slots for your most frequently used cards. So I typically will have my priority pass in there, maybe some of my IDs, and it's great that you have 4 slots here. So more than that, I typically don't need out of a dedicated travel wallet. And then you have a spacious area on the back for cash, and this will be able to accommodate a variety of different types of currencies, which is great to see. You have some smaller pockets for a SIM ejector tool, and then you have a hidden pocket on the back for some extra cash if you want to store it, just to keep it kind of hidden away. Or if you're traveling to multiple countries, you can store the currency for one country in the front, hide the other currency for when you're going to need it later on. And then this wallet even includes a mini pen. I've always talked about how I love having a pen as part of my travel setup for filling out customs documents or for whatever you might need to sign quickly. So that's incorporated there with the wallet. It's included, it hides away. And then this is also RFID protected to give you that additional peace of mind. So this just really checks off all the boxes for what I'd be looking for out of a travel wallet, and it does it in a way that just feels really sleek, premium. And if you want a travel wallet that's just gonna take it to the next level, this is gonna be one of the absolute best options that you can take a look at. As airlines continue to get stricter with their carry-on limits, one solution that I would recommend exploring is the idea of traveling with a duffel bag. Whether you're traveling with 1 bag or 2 bags, a duffel bag is actually a really versatile way to carry your stuff. And there's a lot of great premium duffel bag options from companies like Evergoods, Peak Design, Aer, but one of the ones that I come back to consistently is the Goruck Kit Bag, because it's durable, it's simple, but still very functional. And so the Kit Bag has, just a very kind of classic duffel bag aesthetic, as many of Goruck's other products are. It's minimal, it's a pretty Spartan appearance. On the exterior, you have the Velcro patch that you can, kind of customize with whatever you want. You have the very durable handle so that you can carry it, without having to wear it on your shoulder if you prefer not to. And these are well reinforced. You have a couple of slip pockets on the ends that can work for storing a water bottle or other items that you're gonna be grabbing quickly. And then you also have a comfortable shoulder strap that you can easily attach and remove depending on how you want to carry your bag. This is well reinforced. You have really great clips here, so it definitely doesn't feel like there's going to be any durability issues with the bag even when it's loaded out. And I like that it's got a pretty loose structure, so this will mold around the items that are on the inside comfortably. Duffel bags in general are one of my favorite ways when I have to carry a lot of bulkier items or just a ton of stuff, because they're just super flexible and they'll be able to squeeze into some tighter spaces because of their layout. And this kit bag that I have here, I believe is 500D Cordura. Goruck has come out with a couple of different versions. There was even a Dyneema version that was released recently, so pretty cool if you can pick that up. But this fabric has held up well. This is the 32-liter version of the kit bag, so carry-on friendly while still being able to hold a ton of stuff. It doesn't look super big, which is something that I really like. And then the layout is also very useful. You have an external zippered pocket that you can use to store, charging cables, pouches, anything that you're grabbing quickly while you're going through TSA. You have an internal zippered mesh pocket. And then on the inside, you have, the spacious main compartment, duffel style opening. You have some additional organization here, zippered pocket. That's gonna be great for any smaller items that you don't want getting lost. And then you have 2 zippered pockets on the ends to give you some added organization for, again, other things that you just want to separate from this larger open space. And then the duffel layout is always going to be great for packing cubes, for throwing in shoes, and for anything that's just not always as easy to fit into a roller bag or into a travel backpack. So I absolutely love pairing a duffel bag with a really great day pack. When I'm traveling, I've used that setup on many different trips, and it's gonna be another great way to travel. If you don't mind carrying the weight in your hands or on your shoulder and you want something flexible and spacious, then something like this is gonna be an excellent alternative to take a look at. One item that I've always felt comfortable investing a little bit more in is a reliable travel backpack, particularly if I'm traveling with just one bag. I want something that I feel confident is not gonna fail on me when I'm abroad. And I recently did a roundup video of some of my favorite one bag travel options of the past year. I'll make sure to link to that in the description below if you wanna check it out. For the purposes of this video, I have the Aer Travel Pack 3, which is one of the best recommendations in my opinion. It's usually my go-to because it does so many things so well. As far as the aesthetic, it's got a very modern, sleek, kind of techie appearance. The build quality on it is fantastic, and so they offered in a couple of different fabrics: ballistic nylon, X-Pack. I have the Ultra version here that was released last year, so that's going to be a little bit more premium, but all of them are going to be durable, weather resistant. You have the aqua guarded YKK zippers. Not all of them have aqua guards on all the zippers. As far as the fabrics, that's part of the Ultra and the X-Pack collections, but you'll still have very reliable zippers. And then you have compression straps along the exterior with the magnetic buckles. You have an external water bottle pocket with the zipper so that you can hide it away when you're not using it. You have really nice carrying handles at the top. On the sides, you have one at the bottom to allow you to load this into an overhead storage compartment. And then there are two sizes. There's the Travel Pack Small and then the regular Travel Pack, which comes in at 35 liters. The small one comes in at 28 liters. That's the one that I really love for minimal travel. The 35 liter is a great carry-on friendly size that goes into an overhead storage compartment. Same layout on both of them. And then you have the super comfortable harness system. I've used Aer's harnesses for many, many years now, and they're some of my favorite. I really love the padding, the breathability. You have the load lifters on this latest iteration, sternum strap with a magnetic buckle. You can purchase a robust waist belt that is removable if you don't want to use it. You can purchase it though if you want that extra support, particularly with the larger version of the travel pack. It could be helpful. You have the really breathable, well-padded back panel, luggage pass-through, and then the organizational layout is one of the most useful across any travel bag. Quick access pocket on the front, and then you have excellent quick access pocket at the top for all those items that you're going to be reaching a lot while you're on the go. You have the admin compartment with good internal organization. So this is really a bag for people that have a lot of tech gear, that have a lot of items. They want a pocket for everything, but it still provides some flexibility. Even if you don't use all of these pockets that are provided here, you still have a large space that goes all the way down. So I really like that flexibility. Then you have the dedicated laptop compartment on the back that's padded, suspended. You have some additional organization here for your tech accessories. And then the clamshell style main compartment for easy packing. Lots of space here on the inside. You have a couple of additional zippered pockets. You have an AirTag pocket here near the quick access pocket. Some zippered compartments on the lid that will give you some added flexibility with how you can kind of arrange all of your stuff. This one's a little bit taller here, so it could be good for a jacket, clothing items. So lots of versatility, a really sleek style. And if you're looking for a very reliable, comfortable one bag travel option, this is gonna be one of the first options I recommend you take a look at. And so that's it. Those are some of my favorite premium travel accessories. Hopefully this video was helpful. And if you have any questions on the items that I featured in the video, suggestions for similar items that I should check out, or if there are any accessories that you've invested a little bit more in that you think were definitely worth the money, as always, please let me know in the comments. And I'll make sure to include links in the description below to some of the other roundup videos that I've done. I mentioned in the intro, the recent video that I did where I talked about some of my favorite budget travel gear. I'll also share links to my roundup video for my favorite one bag travel options, my favorite EDC backpacks, and some of my favorite travel clothing and things like that. And if you have ideas for other roundup videos that you'd like to see, definitely let me know about those as well. And I want to thank you for watching and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like, and if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming videos, and we'll see you in the next one.